Hi, everybody, and welcome back to class. It's Mark, and today is Monday, February the 8th. I'm recording this morning as opposed to last night because I was watching the Super Bowl. You probably were too. I thought it was a great game. The commercials weren't as good as previous years, and I thought the halftime show was terrible. But regardless, it was still a fun time. Today we are going to jump into class session 5. I mentioned this last week, and you'll be turning in the first of your argumentative papers. However, this is just a draft. It's not the final version. Everyone will get feedback from me and from their peers in the class before we turn in the final version. So I'm opening the folder for session 5, and let's see what's in there. This one does include some documentation on APA and MLA, and just a reminder, we do not use APA in this class, only MLA. I'm going to have you look at a couple of things that are related to APA because I think they're helpful. However, just keep that in mind. I'm going to open the overview of the argumentative styles first. This week we are only using the classical approach. And this gives you a pretty good form to follow about how this argument should be structured. Of course, you're going to introduce your topic, and the topic you are using are the ones that you sent to me a week ago. State your case, clarifying the issue. Give some background. Why is this important? Then insert your proposition, your central thesis. What is it that you are trying to argue? The refutation, that is where you include what people who disagree with you think and give you a chance to poke holes in that, shoot their argument down, leaving yours as the only one standing. Of course, developing proof using ethos, pathos, or logos in your appeal, and then wrap it up with your conclusion. And here are the readings for this week. Again, pay more attention to the ones on MLA, although the ones on APA are helpful. These include why we cite, how we cite, citation game, and MLA format. I'm not going to open these two. They're short videos that you can watch. They're not terribly long, and they're pretty well done. I'm going to go and open the citation game. I've used this in the past, and it's actually pretty good. In the index, you're going to want to skip all of these related to APA and just try the ones on MLA. Once you have this, here's all the information you need for the citation, and it's your job to put them in the proper order. In other words, practicing how you're going to cite. Once you get them all inserted in the proper order, hit check, and it'll tell you how you did. And once you have these up here on this bar, you can actually move them around. If you had it partially right, it'll show you that too. I did this one purposefully incorrect, just so you can see it. Oh, I thought I mixed up the order. Sorry about that. And I got that one right. And if I click on next, it'll give me another chance. So have some fun with that. There is no score recorded for it. It's simply for practice. And here is a handout on MLA format produced by Purdue OWL. We in Indiana are lucky that of all the colleges and institutions in the United States, Purdue and the Online Writing Lab, that's what OWL stands for, is considered the authority on MLA and APA formatting and citation. So if you want to include something and you're not sure how to cite it, how to format your citation, here are examples on all of them, including sample papers and sample works cited page. Also has a search box, so if you want to ask the question, how do I cite a personal interview? It'll give you a very good example. All right, let's go back a screen. and we'll jump into the folder on plagiarism. And I think I've mentioned this before, but just to repeat, anytime you turn in an assignment here, we have software that checks your submission for plagiarism. And I get a percentage report saying how much of what you have turned in has been found in another source. Because we're including citations, I should never see a report that has 0 for the percentage, because I want you to include sources, obviously, in your research. The only thing I want to make sure is that when I see something that is a match coming from another source, that you have cited it properly. These are all videos, and I'm not going to open them now because I'm trying to keep these as short as I can, but make sure you watch those. The only thing you will be turning in this week is the draft of your classical argument. And contained in here is a PowerPoint on classical argument. I'll go ahead and open that, because like one of the handouts that we discussed just a few minutes ago, it's got a pretty good framework for you to follow on how to structure the classical argument. This is a persuasive paper. You're trying to win me and everyone else over in the class to your way of thinking, drawing conclusions by examining all the different sides of an issue. And I'm going to skip ahead here to the model. Introductory paragraph, tell me what your issue is, setting the stage for how you're going to persuade. The body, including the background information, the evidence, that's very important. Sorry, moved ahead too soon. And the claims that you're going to make. The refutation, again, that's also very important. That's where you want to poke holes in in the arguments of people that disagree with you, your conclusion, and most importantly, your works cited. You need at least 5 sources for this. Let's take a look at the instructions. And when you turn this in, you're actually going to be turning in the draft of your essay and the peer review, which you will include at the end of your essay after the works cited page, so someone else can read your argument and give you some feedback. As I mentioned, you're using the topic that you proposed to me. The audience is me and everyone else in the class. It also says everyone in America and or the world. That might be a bit much. Again, you need a minimum of 5 sources, outside sources, for your essay. You could use more if you'd like, but 5 is the minimum. Again, the refutation. And here is yet again another model for you to follow. Introduction, explain what it is that most people believe about your issue. Explain the position you're going to take. Give evidence, very important. And number 10 here is also interesting. This is not in some of the other models that we have discussed. Acknowledge what has been left out of the discussion about the topic. What else needs to be researched? 1,200 to 1,500 words, including the works cited. And your draft will be due on Valentine's Day, Sunday the 14th. Once you have written your essay, again, open this, and you can simply copy and paste this to the end of your document. And each of you will be reviewing the work of another student. So copy and paste, pretty simple. Once your draft is finished, you're going to open this link, and that's where you will submit it. But before we go, I want to bring one other thing to your attention, and that is citation machine. Now, this isn't included in the class. This is just something that I have brought to the attention of other students in the past. If you have a question about how to cite something, how to format that citation, this is just one of many on the internet that you can use. Of course, we're going to use MLA. And in this search box, let's say you have a print book, you can insert the title and it will search and find that and cite it for you. You can also do this manually, where you can enter the information in, and it will assemble it for you. So again, if you have questions about citation, use Purdue OWL first and foremost. But you can also check your citations this way. And if I were citing a print book, I would type in all the information here, hit Create Citation, and it will give me the citation for me. Now, this doesn't tell you how you cite it in the body of the paper. This is only for your Works Cited page, but it's a helpful tool. Some of you may have others similar to Citation Machine that you like to use. Those are fine. I will tell you that these are not always 100% accurate. They tend to be pretty good, but ultimately the citation is yours, and if there's a mistake in Citation Machine, well, double check it anyway. My screen is not cooperating today. So we have less reading this week, more videos, hooray, and no discussion board. Concentrate on writing the first draft using the classical model of argument for your proposed topic, and I'm really looking forward to reading those. I really enjoyed the discussion on the matrix. I thought that was pretty interesting because we live in a rural state. It was interesting how many people had experience with raising animals, participation in 4-H and things like that. Great discussion, everyone. I'm going to jump back into class sessions. Make sure that we've covered everything. I believe we have. Doesn't hurt to take one more look around. Overview of the argument styles, readings on MLA, readings on plagiarism, although many of these are videos. There's the assignment for the first draft of the classical argument, and this is where you will submit it. Don't forget to copy and paste the peer editing form on the end, and everyone will get feedback from me and at least one other student on your essay. That looks like it's it for this week. Best of luck to everyone. I'm enjoying how this class is going so far, but if you need to talk with me, reach out to me by text, 812-498-4200. If you want to send me an email, it's mstenger and the number 1 at ivytech.edu. Remember, when you're writing your draft, you always use the due date as the date on your paper, so you will date that for 14 February 2016. Best of luck, everyone. I'll see you around.